Is this right?
Hey, how do geeky movies change us? Find out next. Up next on Geek Out SA. And welcome back to Geek Out SA. It's Friday and we're having fun. And we're still having technical difficulties apparently. So we'll see how that goes. Now, hopefully we got the audio sorted out and we're having the video sorted out too, maybe, hopefully.
Don't blame me. Blame Vince and Stuart because they're the technology people. We're just the pretty people. We just sit here and look pretty and talk about things. Yeah. So it's all their fault.
We're the talent.
Yeah.
So we're talking about geeky movies and how they change us and how they change our views or change how we think about society today. But that's what we're doing today. So I think my first one is probably going to be, which really started out me being probably Star Wars. My dad took me to go see Star Wars at the Aztec Theater a long time ago back in. I didn't see it when it first came out. I think I saw it probably a year after it came out, 77.
I don't know. You were pretty little.
I was really young.
You were pretty little.
Yeah.
So why do you think? So those of us that are in our 40s, we have this big connection to Star Wars. It was kind of a big deal. Nowadays, kids don't care. Like when we were kids, we cared. We cared, and it was like a big deal, and we played with the toys and everything. And nowadays, kids don't care. They're like, oh, Star Wars is really long and boring. Really, that's legitimately what my students tell me. It's really long and boring.
Right.
So what does that say about where these geeky movies are going to go?
Well, to be quite honest with you, it probably has a lot to do with the special effects. Because when we were younger, it was a big deal, all the special effects that George Lucas brought. And nowadays, it's like they are pouring millions and millions and millions, billions of dollars into movies. It's like our number one U.S. export. I don't know if that's true, but it's a product.
Yeah.
And they are definitely seeking younger generations now more than ever. And, it's kind of becoming, and I hate to say it, but it's kind of becoming like an elite experience. Like going to the movies isn't for everybody. If you have a family going to the movies, it's like $100 night, So
I think it depends on where you go and.
I mean, just a movie ticket for a family of four.
It cost me $13 a week to go to the movies with 2 adults and 2 children.
You have for dollar movies?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's different. And thank God for those like places that do outdoor free films now. Yeah. But then, and if you want to go alone, then you got to do the babysitting and everything. So that being said, a lot of stuff is not being seen in theaters anymore. Right. A lot of stuff is being seen at home, on the tablets, on the phones, and so it's not the same experience. It's just not the same experience as it was for us going to the movies.
Well, and for us, it was like even the generation right before us, they dressed up to go to the movies. Like it was a thing. Like they
it was
dressed
a different
up. It was
experience.
a different thing.
Yeah.
Nowadays, even like our own sons, they won't go to the movies, and they're in their 20s, their early 20s. They don't want to leave their home. They want instant gratification. Yeah. They want it if it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
They want it if they don't have to go to a theater and be near anybody or talk to anybody or buy a ticket or buy anything like that. Yeah. So.
And now you have these like recliner theaters.
Yeah.
And you have like the theaters that do extra stuff to pull you in, like parties, like Alamo Drafthouse does like different events and parties or, art shows or interactive experiences. Now you have these megaplexes with the entertainment involved. So we're so,
and you have to make sure you go to the matinee so you can save some money.
We're all overstimulated, So movies, it's an entirely different experience than it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that bums me out because it makes me kind of slightly concerned about where movies are going to go moving forward. Because we're already in this place where these kids in their 20s don't want to go to the movies. We're coming to a place where it's recycled stories, it's remakes of all these things. How much longer is this industry going to hold out is what I'm wondering.
Well, it's almost like I'm waiting for the bubble to burst, just like with real estate, like living in New York and LA. It's like, it's so unaffordable, and it's happening in Austin. It's happening in so many places. It's so unaffordable that they've pushed all the creative people out. And now a lot of what's being released in the theaters, it's the same type of thing. It's like it's very, very difficult to see the younger, newer
like
creatives and the indie type films that's very pushed kind of to the side. You can only see in certain theaters.
You're starting to even see that with like restaurants now.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody is like going to their restaurants anymore because
now that you can DoorDash and do all of, Uber Eats and all of that stuff, we're becoming more contained in our homes.
Yeah, for sure.
And less willing to go out.
Which is a shame because I love going to the movies so much. But it's a treat. It's a treat for me, like a couple times a year, and that's it. I do Redbox. I wait for things to come on Netflix or DVD.
See, and when our kids were little, we took them to the movies all the time.
Yeah, my 4-year-old has never been. My 4-year-old has never been because I worry about taking her, and other people getting upset if she moves around too much, So it's like people don't even, it's become such an elite experience that people get pissed off if there's kids making noise. And
I know we would. That's why we go to the Draft House, because we don't want to have.
And they have those crybaby shows, but those are like Tuesday in the middle of the day. Who can do that? So
yeah, people.
It's hard for families. I can tell you that as a mom, it's hard to go to the movies.
So Black and Silver Diamond mentions Battlefield Earth.
That was her. That's an interesting choice. I have to say, y'all know what mine is. Probably is the Dark Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Labyrinth.
Yeah.
And Ghostbusters. And Gremlins. And
Gremlins,
speaking of all of that, that's the other trend. When we were talking about recycled stories, that's a big thing. Is people get really pissed off about the same thing over and over and over. But I have to say, it's been like that since the beginning of time. That's who we are as a culture. That's how we pass down information. That's how. So I don't have a problem with the recycled story as long as it's done in like a new and different way. Like, okay, so they're gonna do the Ghostbusters next year. They're also making a TV show of the Gremlins. Dark Crystal's coming out in 2 weeks. Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. Yeah.
To that. But again, that's Dark Crystal with another take. We're in another time period
but it is,
in that universe.
Yeah, it's definitely targeting nostalgia of our age group.
Oh, definitely.
And counting on us to say, hey, kid, you got to watch this with me. I tried to make Ian watch the Dark Crystal the other day. He was like, no, it's too scary. It's too scary. I'm like, yeah, we were shown terrifying things when we were kids.
Yeah, I saw Poltergeist. I was like 9 years
old. Yeah, that one scarred me.
That scarred me.
All of those movies scarred me.
And as the years gone by, there's been more and more movies that, really speak out politically on things. What's your take on that?
I think that has kind of always been the case.
But doesn't it seem like it's more now?
Sometimes I think you can take what you want when you watch it. Like
I think it depends on where you are.
It depends on how much it resonates to you with how you feel about politics. But I've definitely noticed that.
I think there's this push to try to have more representation now. Then there used to be more realistic representation. We realized that in previous
diversity
and movies that the representation was not great. They brought up a lot of movies where the actors and actresses should have been of a certain cultural descent, and they were white. So there's been this acknowledgement of whitewashing of movies where the majority of the actors actresses were white and they should have been of another culture. Of putting in women in roles. Where they have some strength and they're not just the damsel in distress,
Yes.
But are we there yet?
No.
I think we started with Wonder Woman. I think we took a step back with Captain Marvel.
I would agree with that. I think Wonder Woman was spectacularly done. It definitely showed the strength of women, not only of Wonder Woman, but of her tribe of women. And again, that was done by a woman. So I think because her perspective was there behind the camera, that was done really well. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Captain Marvel. I was pretty disappointed. What did you think?
It was just, there was nothing exciting about it to me, nothing memorable about it.
There was nothing of
It was
substance.
it was very just kind of by rote.
Yeah, and it felt like there could have been stuff
was
of
very
substance.
bland.
Yeah.
And they just jumped right into it. So that's what happens. A lot of movies kind of jump right into things these days, like Captain Marvel. I noticed, like, there's a conversation that's been happening that you weren't privy to, and the movie starts like mid-conversation. And I think that's because of the TV tie-ins and the tie-ins to all of the previous editions or previous films, like Avengers Endgame. You want to know what the heck people are talking about? Watch 11 years or 10 years worth of movies, and then you'll get caught up. And then you got to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to understand what the deal is with Marvel and Coulson and all that stuff. And then I had to like Google the Kree and find out, wait, how is she with the Kree, but she's human looking? And I had to find out that there's two different races of Kree, and I had to know all of this backstory, this lore, to understand the films, because things are I don't know if it's an expectation, but things are certainly trying to tie together in universes, like Marvel universes, DC universes, Star Wars universes. Oh my God, it's so overwhelming and confusing. And so I don't know if that's appealing to everybody, because not everybody, especially young people, they're not going to know 11 years back with Avengers Endgame.
Especially with the fans of the different comic books and DC or Marvel, and they're coming through and they want certain things a certain way, but it doesn't necessarily translate over to a movie well.
Right.
Well, and Vincent and I have been to several movies where we've come out of the movie and people were like, that movie had like too much talking in it. They spent too much time talking. There was not enough action in that movie. So it's gotten to where that is a problem too, where you were saying it jumps right in because they're trying to jump to the action and jump to the action.
That's exactly right.
Like, I thought the reboot of Hellboy was not great. It was pretty terrible, actually, because it was all like blood and guts and action and action and action and action. And I think you missed out on that story of, to me, it seemed like there was a moral to the original Hellboy story of, here's this creature who could have had a certain destiny, and he's kind of choosing his own destiny, and he's like fighting over that. There was more story, more character development, I felt, back in 2004. Now swing to 2019, and it's like, let's just kill things and have blood and guts.
I think that's what makes the films from our youth very strong, is the character development and how much you cared.
Yes.
These days, it's very hard to care because they jump so much into the action. I don't know if I'm just being picky and snotty and bratty, but I did not care one iota about Captain Marvel.
No, not at all.
And then there's the whole thing. The other thing is all the reboots that it's like, who are they targeting? Who are they targeting? Are they targeting the people who like saw the original, like Aladdin, for instance, like the original Disney films that they've rebooted? Okay, it's like, is it interesting if you haven't seen the animated film? Or is it interesting in and of itself? Because the way they did Aladdin and the way they did the genie was a point of debate, because it looked very strange the way he was half animated, half live action. And a lot of people are complaining about The Lion King. Like, why did they do that? Because it's the same movie, same script, but CGI. And so all these reboots and all these like live action versions of animated films, I've enjoyed some of them, but definitely not all.
Aladdin a lot more than I thought I was going to. And I think for me,
I liked it
because they let Jasmine step up, and they added that song for her. And so I think they were trying to progress some of that. And Disney's getting a lot of flack for, again, we're talking about that culturally insensitive nature of some of these previous movies.
And now it's swung the other way to where Ariel is African American and people are getting angry, but
right, so they can't
that's
win.
Not nice.
It just doesn't seem like you can win, right? People are going to get mad at you no matter what you try
should
to do.
always err on the side of bringing representation to the theater. But
well, I think we need to err on the side of, is it a good story? That was supposed to be,
and the character development.
Is it a
character
good
development
story?
will always make it stronger.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, like, I don't know why people are upset about Ariel if she's fictional. She can be whatever.
I think she looks absolutely perfect.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's going to be amazing. But I was afraid of the new live action, which even Lion King is not live action. It's all CGI. That's not really a thing. It's not like they've got the lions to come out and act. Hello.
But then they're doing Lady and the Tramp with the real dogs.
Oh, well, they've done that with like
101 Dalmatians.
But
they did
but what is the point? Is the question?
Right. What's the point?
Why? Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. In the words of Jurassic
But we also talked
Park.
about this thing about marketing and putting toys out there. You can put another line of toys.
Yeah.
And the people that like the original will probably come over and buy the new toys.
Because people act like this is the first time that Disney's doing this, but when we talk about 101 Dalmatians, okay, 101 Dalmatians was really old, right?
Yeah.
So then maybe our parents remembered it and liked it, and they wanted us to re-see it and revisit it, but then they've got this live action of 101 Dalmatians, so then our parents take us to that because they're trying to update it for our generation. So I think that's what Disney's trying to do is go, oh, wait, these parents that are coming out now, they loved Aladdin and all this stuff. Let's update it a little bit, and they'll drag their kids there, and then they'll buy new toys because they have nostalgia, and their kids will like it, and they'll have toys. So I think it is, like Vincent said, it's this whole marketing ploy of how to get us.
But as a merch lover, I can't complain because I'm waiting for that Dark Crystal merch. And the Gremlin merch and the Ghost. It's all about
talk about merch.
Like right now, you go to the Target and there's tons of Gremlin stuff.
Yeah.
And it's at GameStop and it's everywhere. It's at ThinkGeek. And
but see,
that was the big one for me.
Right? Is now the market has shifted to where all of these mainstream places have merch. And so you can find it, like it's everywhere.
That makes me really happy. I can't complain about that.
I see all these Star Wars people that stand in line to buy stuff, but it's not even really necessary anymore. There's so much of it out there.
You can't get to the movie because it's too expensive, but it's real easy to get the merch.
Get all the merch. Get it all.
Yeah, but Gremlins that was a big one for me because when I was a kid, I was so scared of the Gremlins. Not the Mogwais. I love the Mogwais. I had a little Mogwai. I put him in my backpack and zipped it up to his little neck and walked around school. But the Gremlins, that was my biggest nightmare for years. Yeah.
I don't think the Gremlins toys did very well
back
in the day.
Well, Mogwai's okay.
I think they will now.
Yeah. Oh, and I want them.
Only because of us. Because of our generation.
I want to buy a Gremlin because I'm not afraid anymore. And I showed it to my son, who's 9. And he thought the movie was hilarious.
Okay, oh my God. I have the same.
And I'm like, it is hilarious.
Disney lacks creativity.
Disney lacks creativity.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
You know, I'm a huge
They're really smart on the marketing part of it. They always have to.
Yeah, I'm a huge Disney fan, so
but they are starting to bother me when they're getting kind of big for their britches, getting a little elitist with the theme parks, getting a little too commercial with the movies.
Well, and taking their movies off of Netflix and doing their own streaming service.
But then let's see how they do. Maybe they get real creative with their new TV shows that are coming on their, like The Mandalorian and
I was gonna say I don't think that they've necessarily
all that
lost
stuff.
creativity.
But what they're doing, since they own ESPN, they're putting ESPN Plus on there. They're also doing Hulu.
Yeah, get a
and
package.
You get that with Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know that they've lost their creativity. I mean, are they recycling some of their ideas? Sure, but I think a lot of places do that.
Well, there's
so that they
new,
can have the money then to do something new.
There's a new one coming out that's like they're like aliens. I forget what it's called, but and it's like
I thought
it looks really out there.
Fantasy one where like the goblins and stuff is.
Oh, is it aliens or is it elves? Yeah. and they live in like a city or whatever.
Yeah.
And it looks really off.
And the mom like tells
strange
him to
for Disney.
take out. Is it the one where the mom tells him to take out the trash and the unicorns are eating from the trash? And
Maybe.
tells him to like shoo away. Let me see. I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, but stuff like The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth and those kinds of movies like are few and far between, where it's just the world building. In Star Wars, it's like it's not taking from anything else. It's not taking from a comic book. It's not taking from a novel. It's not taking from a previous film. It's just its own beautiful new world. I think you see that probably a lot more in TV than you do in film these days.
Yeah, so it's called Onward. That's what I thought.
Onward, yeah.
Yeah, so there's two siblings that are elves, and then it's got this cute thing like the unicorns are getting in the trash and stuff. It's a very fantasy forward. And then they're also bringing out the new Maleficent, where we're seeing a story of Maleficent cast.
I can't complain about that.
I saw the...
It looks beautiful. The trailer looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, I don't know that they've lost their creativity. I think that some of this recycled stuff is to build up their revenue so that then they can, because like you were saying, it's billions and billions of dollars now to make these movies because of everybody's expectation. So they've got to make revenue so that they can spend the billions and billions of dollars to get us where we want to be.
And people have been pretty happy with the Avengers movies, and Thor I thought was great. The last Thor.
Yeah.
You know, whoever writes for those and writes the comedy and stuff in there for Thor.
Whatever his name is,
Yeah, just
very Hitchhiker's Guide.
Very hilarious,
Yeah.
very funny. And we finally saw Men in Black International.
Oh, I want to see that.
Oh my God, you should totally see that. Chris Hemsworth is so...
He's
like
funny.
Thor-ish. He's very funny in that one too. So he's kind of like, I'm a dumb jock. And then he has like these really funny, witty lines in there. And I like... This is another reboot that not necessarily a reboot that I liked because it felt like a continuation of the story. And so they had some of the same tropes and some of the same things in there that made you feel like you were watching Men in Black. But you were watching Men in Black. Yeah, you didn't need them to be there. You felt like you were watching The Next Generation.
If it's done well, then I'm perfectly okay with, you know, the same, living in the, like you said, you like to live in that world.
Yeah, I want to
When it's a world that you love, you'll watch it, you'll go again and again, but you just don't want them to kill it for you.
About like Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. I love it. I would live in Harry Potter's universe forever. You could make 950 movies. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
As long as it's done. I thought they were done well.
You thought Grindelwald was good?
Yeah,
I did not like Grindelwald.
Oh, why not?
Yeah. It just had a strange rhythm to it, and it just had, I just didn't care very much. It just didn't have much build up. It was one of those things that kind of just went too fast, and it was very sort of dark and political. Like you said, definitely political. And it just, the one thing I did love was the creatures. Anything with the creature, I'm there. I don't have to love the film. If I love the creature, I'll watch it. I'll watch it again and again if I love the creatures. But yeah, it just didn't have that same magic for me. It was just missing something. I think.
Was really dark. So it took it kind of to a DC level, right? It was the DC movie of Harry Potter.
For sure. I mean, yeah, DC definitely has the darkness.
Dark, broody.
Like Aquaman. Like I watched Aquaman. That was really kind of not DC-ish, right? That was so...
Try watching Shazam.
Shazam! Okay, let's talk about Shazam.
It was super cute.
Was perfect. That was a perfect film.
It was.
That was exactly what I wanted it to be, because it had that funny D&D like world, and it had... I love the idea of how realistic it was when he came into his powers, and how he was like trying to make money off the street, and how he was like, and that's a trend now. It's like showing superheroes in a more sort of human.
Well, have you ever seen Big, the movie Big?
Yes.
Didn't it have that kind of feel?
It definitely had that
feel.
Kind of
feel.
Yeah. But I love that actor, Zachary Levi, so much. Like when he was in Chuck.
He was in Chuck?
Yeah.
He is very skilled, very good at what he does. Yeah. So that was perfectly cast. But yeah, that
and
movie
I even
was
liked
perfect.
his character in Heroes Reborn.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the reboot of
and
Heroes.
I really wanted that to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
Yeah, that was disappointing because I loved that series, the original series.
Well, and one of the things I liked about Shazam is that a lot of these superhero things, especially the TV shows, because they have to keep them going week after week, the superheroes never learn, right? They do the same thing. Like, I swear if Arrow doesn't start telling the people on his team what's going on with him, I'm going to crawl on the TV and beat him up myself, okay? Because he keeps doing the same thing over and over and over. So it was nice.
Wait till you watch The Boys.
It was nice in Shazam where he realized that he needed to, like, bring everybody in and have that group, you know.
I love that.
That was a nice thing. I think that parents could take
that was
kids
definitely
to.
a family-friendly movie.
It was very family-friendly.
Yeah.
And I see us moving away from that sometimes, too.
Yeah.
Is there's not this
there's
good, like,
barely anything.
feeling.
There's barely any family-friendly movies, like, just in percentage-wise, you know, of what's released. It's few and far between. Mm-hmm. Which then gets into the whole thing where it's like $100 to go to the movies, so... You know.
Well, you want to go to something that's meaningful. It bothers me as an educator that a lot of these young kids, and not that I can talk. I mean, I saw Poltergeist at 9, but my mom didn't know about it. I went. With
it had a little girl in it. You know, you think,
I went with a friend, and her parents let us go. But so many of my kids, they don't get to be kids as long as we got to be kids, because they're so exposed to everything on the internet and everything, and there's all of these movies, and they're seeing them, and it's instant gratification of getting this stuff. So there's not as many wholesome family things.
And they don't put as much. There's not as much quality family stuff either. Like, but I heard Detective Pikachu, which I'm about to rent, was supposed to be great.
That's a good one.
That's happening.
Stuart says thumbs up
like
to that.
This weekend. I'm really excited about that.
I think we're going to go see that.
I really do appreciate when they put that kind of effort into it, because I mean, honestly, if you're trying to hook the younger generation, then, you know, my son, he's sensitive. He doesn't like watching conflict. He doesn't like watching violence. He doesn't like drama. You know, he would prefer the movies to be a place where he can calm his mind, because, you know, he has some sensory issues and behavioral issues. So, you know, all the Avengers and Star Wars and things you think you would take a 9-year-old boy to, I can't, you know? Yeah. So, I have friends that, you know, their kids will sit and watch. Their 9-year-olds will watch those kinds of movies, you know?
We just watched a movie recently that absolutely kids would not want to watch. The Dead Don't Die.
You saw that?
Yeah.
What? Not good?
Well,
darn it! I was hoping it would have like a Shaun of the Dead type.
No.
Zombieland.
It's super it's super disjointed.
Okay.
And then they do like a couple of jokes where the actors realize that they're in a film, but they only do a couple of them, so it's not like consistent throughout the film. So it's these weird
fourth wall breaks.
Yeah, it's these
in weird places
things.
And not enough of them.
That's a shame.
And then they all supposedly know how to kill the zombies and what to do, but yet they don't do it. And then everybody ends up being dead. And I'm like,
I mean, that's why Shaun of the Dead is just always going to be the penultimate zombie movie to me. Mm-hmm. Ultimate. And those two.
But you know, they've got a new Zombieland coming out.
They got a new Zombieland coming out, but those two actors are also making a new series together, which is awesome. I love that, because that movie really.
I love Simon Pegg in Star Trek as Scotty.
Yeah, Simon Pegg is awesome. If you love Simon Pegg, I have a show for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I don't know. Everything is like, I can see what you're talking about, how it's changed, because a lot of it has changed.
And aren't they doing another Indiana Jones? They need to stop
retirement
that.
home.
Stop it, or give it to somebody
Indiana
new.
Jones was not good. I didn't like it.
Well, I think they were trying to get Shia LaBeouf to take the mantle and go forward with it, and he turned out to be such a crazy person that they couldn't really do that, and nobody really liked that one with the weird alien skull,
the crystal
everything.
skull.
Yeah. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I was watching. They put them all on Netflix, and I was watching Raiders the other day. And I was trying to get my son to watch it, but every time it's like face melting and things
Yes,
dying. He's like, no, Mom, why'd you make me watch it? I'm like, it's terrible special effects. Like, how does that even make you upset? Like, I laugh at it now, but I remember being terrified.
Gremlins.
And I was like, I had to leave my window open only this much. Still to this day, my closet doors have to be closed. But I love them. You know, and even E.T. scared the bejesus out of me, but it was one of my favorite movies. And I had an E.T. doll that was like leathery. And I loved him. And then when I went to bed at night, I was like, nope. And I gave it to my mom. But now they have like, even at Target, they have like a reproduction E.T. like this big, and it looks. If they touch that movie, I will be so mad. That
they say they're going to.
No, some things are sacred. Why is nothing sacred?
A buddy of ours that does 3D printing that printed out a life-size ET.
That I showed that movie to my son. Yeah. That one, see, that's the kind where, I mean, when it gets emotional, he's like, and I'm like, no, look, I haven't watched that movie in 10 years because I still cried, like in my 20s, in my 30s, emotionally scarred. So. Yeah, but now I can handle it.
Like,
that one was a real
no.
That's one of those ones that just goes just like it just locks into your heart.
But there you go, and it was a lot of story. There's not very much action.
Exactly.
Not really. It's just mostly story, and it's this connection between this boy and this other being. Yeah. Yeah. It's story.
And it just seems like kids don't have connections to stories.
No. They don't want to hear the stories. It's too long. They just want to see
action.
They
want to be wowed all the time.
The 5-second sound bites, you know, keep me interested. Like,
will Terminator 2 be successful with the T2 cast?
No way. I think people are Terminated out.
I'll tell you what I do like. I do like that they brought Linda Hamilton back because I am sick to death of everything being about 20-year-olds. Like I'm sorry, the older I get, it's like you realize everything in the world is like 20-year-olds. 20-year-olds. It's like, come on. I mean, you know, there's
like,
other people.
There's
other people in the world. Like, what percentage is hot young 20-year-olds? I mean, come on.
We don't go live in the retirement home at 40.
Yeah. So they bring, and then who's got the money to go to the movies all the time? People without kids, or you know, their kids are grown. But yeah, so they're bringing Linda Hamilton back. I think is great because
I mean, yes.
Like Wonder Woman's mom being, we need more of that. We need more of the strong older women. We need more representation, not just of diversity, but of age.
Like, she was strong. She was great. And originally in Terminator, she was fabulous.
And that's the chick from Princess Bride, right? Another iconic, forever love movie.
She's gonna be
right. Robin Wright, wasn't it? Robin Wright. She was Wonder Woman's mom.
Oh, that's right. She was Wonder Woman's mom. That's right. Oh, I was like, she's gonna be in.
Sorry, I'm jumping around.
You jumped too far for me. I was like,
well, Wonder Woman's mom.
Yes, Wonder Woman's mom.
Princess Bride.
Yes.
Talking about movies that shaped us.
Yeah.
It's so great to see those women come back, you know, and just continue their careers and.
But Princess Bride is another one. Or like The Never-Ending Story, which has action, but it's a book. And the
Thank
book
you,
is
Stranger
open.
Things, because now there's a whole new audience that's going to be, and they're probably going to do that movie again too, right?
Yeah.
If they touch Princess Bride, Never-Ending Story, and E.T., and well, they already touched Ghostbusters.
They can redo the second one because I didn't like Never-Ending.
The second and
you didn't like. My husband hates that movie too. I'm like, why? I thought it was fabulous. I loved it. Oh, it's always forever.
Really?
In my surprise.
You had to continue on with Sebastian, I think, in the second one.
Grown up Sebastian. Yeah, and his son goes back. It's always the kid of the main person that goes back. Yeah.
My favorite thing.
Black and Silver Diamond just says, I just want good movies. So do we.
We do too.
Well, and then there's a lot of new people coming on the scene, a lot of women directors, a lot of diverse directors. The new, like, what's his name? Jordan Peele, who's making, like, Us and The Get Out.
Really good stuff. Yeah. He's doing really
That's
good
exciting.
stuff.
That's exciting. Good stuff. That's kind of, like, different because it's not so much about special effects as it is about, and, like, The Quiet Place, that was, it's more, they're putting, some of those movies they put more into, like, the acting and the suspense.
They're bringing the suspense back.
Yeah.
And getting rid of the gore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I like that. You know, you're supposed to be kind of figuring out on your own what's going on and what's happening next and what could possibly happen. Oh God, you know, like that kind of stuff makes the movie great. Like one of the things I loved in Pet Sematary, one of the scariest parts of Pet Sematary is when the cat jumps out. Because, you know, you're just like, you're all tense and everything, and then here comes the cat, and you're like, ah! And that's before the cat's even evil, it's just a regular cat.
Talking about Stephen King, man, he's one that is making a big comeback. I don't know if that's thanks to Castle Rock. Yeah, some of them stink. But some of them are really good.
Yeah, some of them
like Carrie.
Yeah.
What else?
What else is good? I thought
the one with the car.
I thought the new It was good. I really did think it was pretty good.
Okay, but have you seen the new It? The second one is supposed to be a lot darker.
Yeah. And I thought they were gonna redo The Shining, or do not redo The Shining, but do the second.
Like a sequel.
There's
sequel?
a second part to it. Yeah, there's a second part to it. So we can be all red rum. But it's him, but he's grown.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that we forgot to talk about was like how everything's sort of become like fan service these days. Like movies are being made for the fans. And I know they've always done like where they test movies, they have test audiences and they'll tweak it here and there. But like these days, like people are getting on Facebook and having petitions change the ending. I don't like it. Fix Sonic. He looks terrible. And it's kind of crushing the artisticness of film.
They really did need to fix Sonic, though.
But I mean, it is, people are nervous. Filmmakers have to be, they're probably more, nervous about
there's more of a voice
their
out
own
there
creativity.
Right.
There's more
instant
because
feedback
of the internet.
because
it's
of
like
Twitter,
art
because of
is
Reddit.
It's like crowdsourcing.
Well, and it's
like,
made some of these people get off of social media outlets. It's made some of them quit movies that they were originally going to be part of.
For sure.
Because people are dogging them and dogging them and dogging them and dogging them to where, they don't get to have their creative outlet. And
it's not artistic expression. It's more about pleasing other people.
I'm pretty sure that's why Ben Affleck is stepping down as Batman, because it just finally got to be too much. And he just couldn't take it with all the people just harassing him all the time.
And now Robert Pattinson, we'll see how he deals.
I didn't hate.
I mean, but back when Michael Keaton did it, you know,
I mean, I liked him.
He was.
I mean, I think I liked.
But he was so different.
No,
he
I didn't
was
like
his
all
own
the Batman
thing.
I didn't like George Clooney.
Oh, but now the Batman, the Joker movie that's coming out, like they're not even caring, not at all. They're not. They said this has nothing to do with any comics or any previous stories about the Joker. This is our own thing. Take it, like it or don't like it. And that's how I think it should be.
And that's how it should be.
That's how the whole world should be.
How it should
it's like it or don't like it. You know, this is me.
I put the time and effort into it. I don't see you out there directing movies and getting funds and stuff. You want to complain.
You want to complain, then you create.
Yeah, you get to sit behind your computer and complain.
Yeah.
But that was like Brightburn. I wanted Brightburn to be so great.
Brightburn was terrible. I wanted it to be good.
And it wasn't great.
No, and it had potential to be great.
It did.
It had potential to be great.
They had some misses that
storyline could have been fabulous.
Yeah. Well, and maybe a lot of the pressure is because when things are released in theaters, but the Netflix movies, like movies that just come out, like I Am Mother.
I liked that movie.
That was awesome. Where it was like a different kind of take on the robot uprising.
Yeah.
So like maybe they don't have as much pressure like HBO and Netflix and Hulu when they make their, like, what was that other movie, Bright, with Will Smith.
With Will
and
Smith
they're gonna make a sequel to that. Like that was way out there, right? For something.
It was good though.
On that
Hulu.
It was just Shadowrun.
It was Shadowrun.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, you know, it's maybe there's not as much pressure.
Well, maybe because
the budget's not as big.
Change coming forward. Because even Spectrum is starting to do like TV shows and movies and stuff too, and YouTube with YouTube Red. No, they're not. They're not yet.
They'll get there,
but they could potentially get there, and that could be where the industry is going to, because people do want to stay home and stuff.
Yeah, it's all about content now.
Yeah,
but even that is becoming like an elite experience because you're not going to be able to see and talk with other people about half of the stuff that's out there anymore because you have to buy this service and you have to buy that service and you have to buy that. And so it's like, oh no, I don't have cable, or no, I don't have Hulu, or no, I don't have Amazon Prime. Oh, so you didn't get to see, what's that new, Carnival Row? Like everyone's going to be talking about it, but, or the new Lord of the Rings series or whatever. It's like, if you don't spend the money to get all these different things,
97 different streaming services,
you're going to miss all of this content. But that could be another thing, is that another thing that affects movie going these days is like the spoilers. Like,
yes, like
my
the
God,
is practically
the next day,
movie.
Everybody's talking about whatever happened on this movie or that movie. And so, it's like you have to kind of put these blinders on, or you just, you go in already knowing what happens.
I like how Disney does with the new Star Wars, because they don't give a lot of information on that.
But then the people on the internet
people
spoil
who've
it.
seen the movie like the day before you're like, oh, forget it, So, yeah.
Very cool. So what are some of the things that are happening this weekend?
I knew you were going to ask me that. And now I have to like totally switch my brain. Okay. So, there's a lot of trivia going on. There's Stranger Things trivia at Mitchell's. There's a Harry Potter quiz. There's, the 2ID Toy Expo at Wonderland of the Americas Mall. You guys going to go to that? It's like a toy. It's like a toy convention. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We may stop by and check that out.
Yeah.
Because we need more things in the house.
And then Batman's 80th anniversary. Like 2 different versions of the Batmobile there. That looks really cool. And they probably will have like a Batman cosplayer guy. I know they have a Joker and a Harlequin now, since they opened the new Joker ride. So
they just walk around the park? Or?
I think so. I don't know. I don't see a lot of costume characters when I go to Fiesta Texas. Do you?
I don't know. I haven't been in a long time. Too hot.
It's been a long
I usually go like twice a year.
But not as hot as Rome.
Calm down. Stop throwing.
Your European vacation videos.
Yeah, ask him.
I gotta cut him.
Man, he needs to cut them.
No, but that sounds like a lot of fun. Hopefully you go out there and check that too, guys.
Leave your house.
But go out and see some movies.
Yeah, that's the only way to stay cool anyways.
Air-conditioned theater.
Hey, Vince, read my movie pitch. I'm not going to read that movie pitch. But thanks for checking this out. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen. That's Alicia. Thanks, Stuart, for producing.
Geek out, SA.
Who wanted you to read their movie pitch?